Okay, so I'm still kind of engaged here in roughing in the forms for my two hands. Remember, you're to make a representational hand and an abstract hand. I would recommend that the fingers be relatively close together with these hands, otherwise they will want to break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosely trace each of my hands, my left hand and my right hand. I want to make a left hand and a right hand. You can make two right hands. You can do kind of whatever you want, as long as one is abstract and one is representational. Make a real loose trace there. And then basically I'm going to take this simple kitchen butter knife kind of thing that everybody should have access to. And so basically the way that we're going to work is we're going to work subtractive. That means we're going to be taking material away. All right, so you notice I'm not really following my line. I'm actually outside of my line, because is it better to have too much material or not enough? It's better to have too much for sure. And you can see I'm taking all this scrap and I'm putting it directly in a bag because I want to save it. All right. Now, one of the things that you will really want to do is that you'll want to do a lot of observation regarding your hand. You'll want to really look at it, really learn about it, think about it. Where is the thickest part? Where is the thinnest part? It's amazing. The palm of your hand is like only really as thick as kind of like your fingers, right? So this middle part of your hand is really pretty thin, but the fingers are definitely thinner than this part, right? So you could almost immediately take a string and kind of say, okay, well, I know that that front part where the fingers are is going to be much less thick. But you want to leave more thickness than you think. So you see how I just brought that string up? I've got more scrap and more scrap, don't I? That's okay, though. We'll talk about how to deal with that. All right, so you see it kind of almost looks like a pair of mittens, right? Now, the one thing that I really want to stay away from is I want to stay away from getting into any detail until I've done some pretty distinct kind of like measuring in terms of where things are. I can start to think about where this arc of knuckles comes across, right? I can start to think about where is kind of the division between each finger, right? I can start to think about all these things, start to gently kind of lay things out. Again, that curve of knuckles, it's definitely a curve, right? That's around there like that. Definitely gaps in here where the fingers are. But pretty much, I'm close to where we want to be to start to let these things dry out a little bit. And I mean a little bit, not a lot. So as always, it's always a good idea when you put stuff away. Of course, this scrap bag, we want to tie that up tight. These as well, especially if I'm not going to be right here to babysit them, we want to actually move them from the board. Put some plastic down on them, down on the board. Oops. And then get these things back on the board. All right, till next time.